That sounds like she's trying to chase her passion of being in the music industry. You don't have that luxury for a passion project.
Yeah, this looks more of a hobby for her right now.
And it's costing you guys money. Welcome to Financial Cleanup. My name is Marcos, and with me is my lovely co-host Layla.
Today we have Gustave. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Tell us where you're from, your age, and what you do for a living.
Okay, so my name is Gustave. I'm currently living in Jersey City, New Jersey. I've been here for about 3 years, a little bit over 3 years. I'm 37, and I do a lot of freelance work, a lot of film production work, as well as doing just anything that's freelance.
Freelancing related to film and photography?
Mostly, yes.
What would you say your annual income is?
I would say it's about like 28,000 or so. Yeah, 28,000 to 30,000.
Is that combined or just you?
Combined.
Okay.
Yes.
You're married, or is that like a girlfriend?
Married.
So both of you combined are making that. Why is that so low? How many hours a week are you working?
I'm primarily the one working.
Okay.
Most of the time, I'm trying to work 30 to 40 hours a week. So like full time.
You're saying trying. So how much do you think you think you're in that range?
Yeah, 30 to 40.
Okay. And then what is she doing with her time? Because if you're making 98% of the money, what is she doing during the rest of the time?
Right now, she's trying to get like a music career started.
Okay.
She's doing a lot of writing music, a lot of recording music as well.
How long has she been doing that?
Since we moved here, actually.
The last 3 years she's been doing that?
Yes.
Okay. And she hasn't been making any money?
No, she hasn't.
Do you see the problem there?
Yes.
We were looking at your financial situation, and you're in a very difficult spot.
Yes.
Your income alone is poverty level, combined even more so.
Yes.
Whatever you guys are doing now is not working.
Yes.
She needs to put that work aside. Whatever she's chasing, the music industry clearly is not for her. She needs to find a job where she's working 40 hours a week.
Yes.
Steady income, and then get a side job on top of that.
Okay.
And make as much money as possible. And you need to do the same. You need to find something that's steady where you can increase your income, and then you need to work on some side hustles, find part-time jobs, whatever you can do, because as we're going to see later in this episode, we're going to discover that there's a lot of debt here that you need to tackle.
Yes.
And with this income, you're not going to be able to do it. It's impossible.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll discuss that more. Especially
where we live in a high cost of living area, so this hurts.
Yes, it does.
So from our 4 financial categories, you rated yourself as struggling.
Yes.
Okay, so why do you find yourself in this situation?
Primarily, it's because of 2 things: the lack of income, like we discussed a little bit earlier, and also because of student debt. Unfortunately, I've been in this situation for quite some time, and so I've neglected a lot of my student debt, and it's kind of starting to
catch up,
creep up on me. Yeah.
So moving along, let's review your debt.
Yes.
So let's talk about student loans first.
Yes.
Student loans. You have a federal student loan.
Yes.
Current balance is $192,386.22.
Yes.
The last time you made a payment looks like it was in 2011. Is that right?
That sounds about right, yes.
Okay, so it's been a while. Your past due, $6,215.04, and a current payment of $8,286.72 is due.
Okay.
What did you go to school for, and why is it so high? I mean, this is student loan debt that I would think a doctor or a lawyer would have, making significant amount of money.
Yes.
Unfortunately, you're neither, and you're not making anywhere near that kind of money. What did you do?
Well, I went to school for film and video production. I received a BFA, and then afterwards I went to a different school. I started in that school, and that's kind of where financial issues started coming along. Unfortunately, I had to drop out due to I just met the wrong person and
life situations.
Yes, unfortunately. And then, yeah, that's primarily when the student debt issue really started to climb. And I also, my GI Bill, since I was in the Navy, I received the GI Bill. I had applied for it, and that went through. That was supposed to be paying for most of my bachelor's.
Okay.
I do know that the school had me apply for additional student loans. I'm not sure exactly, so I'm not exactly sure what money went where. So I also need to kind of figure that out and see.
You're not even sure if they paid anything, or do you know that they paid a portion of it?
Yeah, they at least paid like a portion of it.
That you're certain of?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because at the time, the payments were coming from my GI Bill, and then in addition through student loans. So I do know that both of those were paying. I did receive like some of the excess money from that, but yeah, both of those were supposed to be going towards paying for the school.
Okay. Do you know if there's a limit on that, on what the GI would cover? Is that why they covered maybe whatever your bachelor's degree was, and then you have this difference here from another degree?
I think the limit itself was $60,000. Some of the debt is from New York Film Academy, which is where I went for postgraduate.
Okay.
But yeah, a lot of that debt is for Brooks Institute, which is where I went.
Do you know if this $60,000 allotted was used up?
I believe so, yes.
You had the $60,000 in debt, which was covered through the GI Bill, and then you have this outstanding.
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha. So when you were going to school and applying and looking into this career path, did you have an idea of what they paid, of what an average salary would be for someone in that field?
I did have a little bit of an idea. I knew a lot of it was going to be freelancing. Okay. Especially for the first 10 years or so for after school.
Right.
But I did have a little bit of an idea, and I knew I've always known that it was a difficult field to get into, really.
What number did you have in mind, did you think you could make potentially? Because I'm guessing you weren't expecting to be making this kind of money, right, when you initially started going to school. What was the salary range that you thought you were going to make?
I was thinking that I would find something pretty easily once I got out of school, and then at least making $30,000 to $40,000 a year.
Did the school try to help or have a department for a careers department to try to help you get started?
They did have somewhat of a careers department. It was mostly for both of the schools. They kind of did, but it was mostly for help with creating resumes, things like that. It wasn't it wasn't
job placement.
Job placement, yeah.
No, nothing like UCLA or USC would do, which is where
they help get internships and help their students get the foot in the door.
Yeah, we would have to get our own internships.
Okay.
What was your rationale? So if going into it, because I'm trying to understand. So you're going into school. This is the career path you want to make.
Yes.
You want to pursue, and you're thinking you're going to make between $30,000 and $40,000 average.
Yeah. What
was the rationale in taking out $150,000+ with the interest? One was at $200,000. That doesn't equate. The math is just not mathing for me. Or did you not know?
Well, initially I was just primarily planning on going to Brooks Institute. Mm-hmm. I didn't really do the research as to what it would actually cost to actually go to school. Mm-hmm. But I primarily looked at a few schools, and I just decided that I wanted that particular school. Once I got out of school, unfortunately, it was extremely difficult to find work. And then in addition, I knew that eventually I would have to pay the student loans off. I didn't know anything about any of the programs that I could enroll into. I didn't know anything about
scholarships. You didn't know anything about that, really?
No, I didn't.
Was it a private school?
Yes,
I'm assuming it's private, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, looking back now, do you regret going there, or wish that you made different, choices or a different path?
I really liked going there when I went there. I don't particularly regret going there. I wish I was probably a little bit more financially literate than I was at the time. And then I felt my expectations for job placement were a little bit more out of reach, or maybe probably a better word is a little bit more unrealistic.
Well, okay.
So I wish I kind of would have known that.
Did you know what type of specific job you wanted after you graduated?
Not really. I figured that my whole idea was I just wanted to get into film. That's just something I always wanted to get into ever since I was a teenager.
Okay, so this is why I reiterate, it's so important to do your research and knowing what career path you're going to want to go into, how much you're going to make, so you don't end up in this situation.
Yes.
Because you're obviously...
You're hurting.
You're hurting.
Yes,
You're hurting.
I am,
I mean,
especially now.
Again, you didn't do the research, and unfortunately, this is something that you're going to have to deal with for many years to come. So there are some solutions that we're going to talk about, and we'll see if we can get you in the right path.
Okay.
Student loans, we're going to get into later. Personal loans?
No, I don't think I have. Yeah, I've never really applied for any like personal loans before.
Okay. You don't have a car, so I'm going to assume you don't have any car loans.
No, we don't.
Okay. Medical debt?
No.
Credit card?
No.
Okay. So you primarily use your checking account for your everyday spending?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go over your checking account.
Okay.
We have a beginning balance of $431.
Yes.
It looks like we made $3,742 of deposits, and we have $4,968.46 of withdrawals, making your ending balance $76.
Okay.
So I'm briefly just going to go through some of the charges.
Yes.
Reoccurring charge for Adobe, which is $24.
Yes.
Munchie's Mart.
Yes.
Okay, so is that a convenience store?
Yeah, it's right outside of our house.
What are you buying there?
Mostly my wife's cigarettes.
Okay. Yeah, so we have Munchie's Mart. They're different charges. We have, $5, $12.
Yeah.
$12. Okay. Some eBay charges. We have eBay for $15, another one for $15.
Yes, that's mostly
What are you buying?
books, mostly used books.
Okay, so we're going to not do that anymore.
Yes.
Go to the library, get free books, go on Craigslist. You can't afford to, you don't have that luxury, unfortunately.
Yes.
Target. What are we buying at Target? Because Target could be, for food shopping, clothing.
Yes, mostly like a small amount of food, eggs, water, things like that.
Okay.
Good.
We have Sunoco for $50. And we have a lot of get around. So I'm just going to briefly go over. We have get around for $73, another one for $166. We have another one for $90, $92, $53. So tell us what's going on over. Why are there so many charges? What is get around?
Get Around is an app. It's a car rental app.
Okay.
Mostly I use it for if I need to get around New Jersey, certain parts of like New York State, like Long Island.
Okay.
Where are you going when you're renting these cars?
Primarily to Matawan, which is where my wife goes down to. She was going down to a friend's house to write and create music and record music. Unfortunately, last week they had a bit of a falling out, so I don't think that's going to be as much of an issue anymore. Okay. But yeah, that's
maybe a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, so that sounds like she's trying to chase her passion of being in the music industry.
Yes.
Which is not bringing her any money for the last 3 years. So unfortunately, don't have that luxury anymore. So if that was your primary reason for renting the car, there's no need for you to rent the car anymore.
Yes.
And that money needs to go back into your savings.
Yes.
Okay, so it's a conversation. It's going to be a hard conversation you're going to have with her. And if she wants to pursue that on the side, she can do it as long as it doesn't cost her any money. Yes. And as long as she's working a full-time job, and she's going to have to grind.
Yes.
You don't have that luxury for a passion project.
Yeah, this looks more of a hobby for her right now.
And it's costing you guys money, which you don't have.
Yes.
What is Forever Fan Music? We have a reoccurring charge of $15.
I'm not exactly sure what that is, actually.
Okay. If it's music, I'm assuming it's for your wife?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're going to call and find out what that is and cancel it if it's reoccurring.
Okay.
Yes. The Hemp Social, which I'm assuming is for marijuana. So is this weekly or monthly?
This is a weekly thing, like once a week.
Again, you don't have money for that. That's
because it's
a want, not a need. You guys don't need that.
It's about $20 a week.
I mean, the cigarettes, I can, nicotine, it's addictive. Marijuana, not addictive. You don't have luxury. Cut it out.
Yes.
You don't have luxury. Or if she wants to build it into the budget, she's going to have to work for it. Or you guys are going to have to work for it.
Yes.
Make more money.
Yes.
It doesn't look like you eat out a lot.
No.
It's like your food shopping is at Aldi's and Target primarily.
Yes. Aldi's, Target, and Dollar Tree.
Okay, good.
Okay.
What are you buying at Target? Milk and eggs. Why aren't you getting them at Aldi? It would be cheaper at Aldi.
It'd save you a trip too.
Okay. Probably because Aldi's a little bit far for us, but Target is like 7 or 8 minute walk from us.
Okay, and then how would you normally get to Aldi? You would walk there?
Public transportation?
Public transportation, I would say most of the time.
Okay.
I would continue doing that. I would, if you can skip at the Target, I'd skip it and get everything on Aldi. You don't need to get the name brand foods.
No, we don't.
Get the knockoffs, and they're just as good and sometimes even better and cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
So I would do whatever you can. You have to cut costs.
Mercilessly.
There you go.
Yeah.
Because, again, the position you're in is...
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about your checking account. Your balance is $76. So
Yes.
what are we buying at Burlington, Marshall's?
Sometimes we get at Burlington, there are like noodles that she likes to get. And then Marshall's is like,
Clothing.
yeah, like mostly like facial creams, things like that.
Okay, so that's for her.
Yes.
And what does she use that for? Is that for just like taking care of her skin, or is it a part of the passion project, chasing, the music, film, and makeup for all that stuff? Or
That's her taking care of herself.
Would you like to take a guess on how much you spent on travel?
During the past month, probably about 400 something.
Okay, well, we're at 1,000.
Okay.
and that 1,000 was primarily taking your wife to music filming, right?
Yes, that's
Primarily.
mostly
So
what it's for.
you see the problem here. She's chasing something that's not making money, and it's costing you $1,100 a month. That could be going towards savings.
Yes.
You kind of see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
For food, we have $545.
Okay.
It's not bad. It's good.
I made a separate line item for the Munchies Mart.
Yes.
Can you guess how much?
Probably on 150 to 200, I would say.
Okay, so $127. Just so
Just
you
for
could get
cigarettes.
just for cigarettes, just so you could get an idea of how much she's spending a month.
Okay.
$127 for cigarettes. Let's go over your reoccurring charges. So what's going on with Adobe?
That's primarily for editing for my wife's music career, editing like small videos, some
There's many.
sound projects.
There's
things
free
like that.
apps for video editing. So I don't know what specifically she's using it for, but maybe she could try figuring out if there's free versions for what she's doing
Okay.
for the time being.
We're canceling
because-
that because she's no longer going to be doing this music stuff. She's not going to have time. She's going to be working.
Yeah.
She's going to be working because in addition to travel, now you have subscriptions. You have all these costs around her chasing this dream that is very difficult to get into. And you don't have that luxury.
Yes.
So you're going to have a very hard conversation with her.
Okay.
Roku, Netflix, and Paramount.
I think that's around like $20 a month.
Okay, so we need to figure out, I mean, it would be ideal to cancel all of them or just choose one.
Yeah, you're going to
Okay.
just pick one, and that's all because this is going to be a multi-year process. I don't expect you to not have some sort of entertainment, because it's not going to be
Yes.
sustainable. So we're going to pick one, and that is it. And if you get tired of, let's say we pick Netflix, you get tired of Netflix, cancel Netflix and sign up for Paramount. Use Paramount for a while, and
Yes.
then cancel that, and then so on and so forth. Because you have multiple subscriptions for streaming services.
Yes.
Don't have that luxury.
Planet Fit, that's $25 a month.
Yes.
Who's working out?
It's mostly hers. Occasionally I'll go as like a guest, but yeah, it's mostly
Does
She
her.
use it?
Yes, she uses it like 3 to 4 times a week.
Okay.
That's something that
Well,
I'm passionate about. So if she's actually using it, then we can keep it in there.
we have to budget
But if
for it.
you notice that she stops going or doesn't go as frequent, cut it out.
Okay. Yes.
We also have Google. What is Google subscription for?
Google is mostly for Google Drive. It's just how both of us use it. We store a lot of like photos, videos, things like that.
And what about Amazon? Because you have Amazon here, Amazon Digital as a reoccurring charge.
Amazon is primarily for her photos. She likes to take a lot of photos. She likes to save all of them.
Have you thought about getting an external hard drive to store all these photos? Because we can't, like,
I have before. I think it would, in the long run, it would probably be a little bit cheaper to do that.
A lot cheaper.
Yeah, you're paying a monthly subscription when you don't have to. I mean, you buy an external hard drive, to save some money, buy one with a ton of space, put everything on there. You're paying monthly for no reason when there's free options or, the options that'll pay off.
And then Verizon, I see is recurring.
Yes,
so
that's for internet. Sorry.
Oh, okay. All right. So that basically sums up your checking account.
Yes.
Let's move on to budgeting.
Okay.
So we have here approximately $2,000 to work with. Okay. How much are you currently paying in rent?
Rent is $975.
$975. Okay. What are you paying for utilities?
Utilities are included in the rent.
Okay. Awesome.
With the exception for internet.
Gotcha. All right. What are you paying for internet?
I believe it's about $57 a month.
57?
Yeah, I have 60.
Okay. All right. Subscriptions. You have several different ones that we touched on.
Yes.
You're going to cancel everything. You're going to pick one streaming service. All right. That's going to keep it at $10 a month. And then the gym membership. Like I said, you get tired of one, switch. Gym membership, see that she's not using it, or if you're not going to use it, cancel it.
Yes.
All right. And I would say if she's lifting weights, keep it. If she's just going to the gym to do cardio, cancel it.
She could go for a walk.
She could go for a walk and go hiking.
Yeah.
So that would be my recommendation. Toiletries, feminine products for your wife.
Yes.
Toilet paper, napkins, things like that. Things for the house. We're going to do $100 a month. Okay.
Okay.
If you need more, you can adjust that slightly, but you have very, very, very little wiggle room. Groceries. It seems like you did not do a lot of eating out, which is great. No. Most of the stuff is
Aldi and Target.
Like we spoke before, I would cut out the Target if you can and buy everything at Aldi because it's a lot cheaper. So I'm glad to see that you're doing that because that is a very big problem that most of our guests have. So I'm glad you're doing well. So I think you were at
545.
545. I'm going to give you 600. Perfect. If you can do 545, you're saving yourself an extra $50 and you can put that into the savings, or you can even cut that down even more so.
Okay.
But for food, you're actually on the money. So good job when it comes to that. Medical prescriptions that you're paying for on a monthly basis?
Not on a monthly basis.
Cell phone?
Cell phone is being paid off by my family.
Car payment you don't have, car insurance, health insurance. You said you were veteran, right?
Yes, I'm covered by the VA.
Okay.
Unfortunately, she is not. I've tried to ask them if she's included, but unfortunately, she's not.
Okay. So by law, you're required to have some sort of health insurance. Otherwise, you get penalized.
Yes.
Since she's not making any money now, that's probably why she's not getting penalized. But as soon as she starts making money, she's going to get penalized, essentially.
Okay.
So she needs to apply for medical insurance. There's in New Jersey, there's something called New Jersey Family Care that she would qualify for, and she would have no monthly premium and she would have to pay no copays.
Okay.
She needs to have insurance because the school debt that you have is already a problem. If she gets hurt or has to go to the ER or something happens to her, if she has no coverage, guess what? It's going to stack up not hundreds, thousands, and tens of thousands of dollars.
It's going to bury you.
It's going to make this that much more painful when you can prevent this by getting some free health insurance, at least for now.
Yes.
Pets?
No pets.
All right. Student loans. Right now, you're required to pay $2,071.68 on a monthly basis.
Yes.
That's impossible because that is more than what you bring in.
Yes.
There's a lot of nuances that have been changing depending on who's running our country. Biden has tried to do some student loan forgiveness, as I'm sure you're aware of.
Yes.
All of that was rejected.
Yes.
And if you're banking on student loan forgiveness, it's not going to happen. Okay. As far as your student loans, there's a program called the Fresh Start Program. This was just recently rolled out and expires in September of 2024 coming up. So you need to get on the phone as soon as we're done here and start making arrangements. So what this program does is, since you were delinquent for many years, and this is obviously it's affected your credit, what they'll do is they'll remove this from your credit. So all of the delinquent payments you have will go away. We'll improve your credit. Once you do that, you're going to go on an IDR. It's an income-driven repayment plan.
Okay.
Because you make below the poverty level combined, your payments are going to be zero.
Okay.
So that's something that you don't have to worry about for now. What we're going to do is we have several different loans ranging from $750 to, I think, up to $40,000 and anywhere in between.
Okay.
We're going to use a SnowBall method. Okay. What that does is you're going to list all of the balances from smallest to largest, and we're going to tackle the smallest ones first, and then we're going to take them out periodically. Okay.
Yes.
What that does is psychologically, you're going to see when you first start, you're going to have, let's say, 16 student loans. You're going to pay off the first one. That's going to give you some motivation to keep going. And then you're going to see, all right, the balance go down. All right, let's get rid of the second one. And then before you know it, you're only going to have 4 or 5 student loans to pay off.
Okay. As
you progress through this process, it's going to take longer because let's say you start off at $750, but then the next one is $2,000, the next one is $5,000. So they're going to be, each step is going to take you longer, but at least you're seeing progress as opposed to you haven't made a payment in the last, decade. So this is not going to go away, and it's going to follow you for the rest of your life until you start tackling it.
Okay.
The fact that you're going to make 0 payments, do not increase your lifestyle and do not reallocate that money into other things.
Yes.
You have to take advantage of the 0 payments and save every single dollar.
Yes.
Okay? In addition to that, like I said, we've talked before, you have to increase your income. Okay?
Yes.
Why are you living in New Jersey? It's extremely high. Do you have the ability to move in with family, friends to eliminate this rent payment? Because it is the largest expense you have, and you need every dollar you can get.
I do. I would probably have to move out of state, but yes, that I've considered that before.
We spoke about Wyoming, right? You have your families mostly in Wyoming?
Yes.
Will they be open to that? Will they let you live there?
Yeah, I have talked about it with them a little bit. I think they would be open, at least for a little while.
Yeah, that's nice that you have that door, that option.
Yeah, I would absolutely do that because all of the music and film industry, I'm guessing that's why you moved to this area because New York is so close.
Yes. That's
going to be put on the back burner. If later down the road, if you want to revisit that, and move back and pursue that dream, I would not do that until you take care of this.
Yes.
If you can move into a lower cost of living area and on top of that, move in with family to eliminate your rent, your living expenses, all of that can be funneled back into paying this off. It's going to take a few years. If they let you stay there years, great. If they let you stay there for months, take whatever you can get and leverage people. Don't take advantage of them, but if they're willing to help you, take the help.
Yes.
We got to where we are with the help of others. We did not do this alone. Yes. And anyone that says that they got to where they are by doing it alone is full of shit because they had help.
Yes.
Yes to that. It's always okay to ask for help.
After making all of your mandatory minimum expenses based on the income you have and your current living situation, you have $230 left over. This is you following this to the T. Okay?
Okay.
That $230 is going to go into a high yield savings account. You're going to open up a bank account online.
Okay.
All that money, you're going to put into that account and you're going to save up $5,000 because you don't have a savings and you have less than $100 in here.
Yes.
The last thing I want to happen is for you to go into debt, taking out personal loans to survive or taking out credit cards. Thankfully, you don't have that, which is I'm really happy to see, but we want to prevent that. So you need to build a cushion. Once you're done building that emergency fund, what you're going to do is every dollar that you were putting into the emergency fund is now going to go into paying off the Nelnet. Okay. Which is your federal student loans.
Okay.
You're going to increase your income, cut down on all your expenses, and pay this off. This is probably going to take you like 10 years, realistically, at this rate. If you increase your income and you work more, you can get it done faster, but you have to stay disciplined. If you can move in with family, right there, you're $1,000 back into your pocket. You were spending $1,000 on travel. Right there, you have $2,000 that can go into paying this off. And if you increase your income and you can pay $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month into this, you're going to get this done quick.
Yeah.
Okay. I know right now that sounds like a lot of money and maybe almost unrealistic, but you can do it. You have to stay disciplined. And that's why I think the SnowBall method is the best approach, because it'll give you those little psychological wins, and you can see the balances decrease and you can see the loan amount shrink. Okay. Do you have any questions?
How would I contact the people at Save?
There's a there's a federal website. I think it's studentaid.gov. We'll link it down below for everyone to see. You can call them and tell them that you want to enroll in the Fresh Start program. Okay. And then after that, tell them that you want to apply for the IDR program, which is the income driven repayment plan. Yes. That's going to bring your payment to zero. We're going to funnel all that into a high yield savings account. Once you build that emergency fund there, that $5,000, and then everything else is going to go paying this down. Okay. Even though you're not required to make a payment, you're going to make a payment, because the longer you wait, the more interest is going to build up. I think your original loan amount, what you took out was, I think, $150, and you're at almost $200,000 because of the interest. It's just going to continue to go up, and you're never going to catch up until you start making really large payments. Okay. Do you think that you can stay disciplined and follow this budget and potentially move in with family? Yes, I think I can. Okay.
You think you could get her on board with you?
It'll take a lot of talking, but
that's just going to benefit, your relationship long term. So she's going to have to see that.
Yeah. And we spoke 100%. Earlier, she has no debt, right?
No, she doesn't.
That's great. If you guys, obviously you're married, you're a team, work together. This is both of your debt. Yes. Once you sign that paperwork and it's official, this debt belongs to her too. So you got to work together to figure this out. You want to live your best life. You don't want to work. You want to be able to retire, right? You don't want to work for the rest of your life. No. So that's why we have to make those sacrifices now and be disciplined now, so later we don't have to. Yes. Okay? Yes. Right. Any other questions that you may have?
Not that I can think of right now.
Well, we want to thank you for coming onto the show and putting your life on display. I know this is a very difficult thing, and you're putting yourself in a very vulnerable position. Appreciate you coming on, and hopefully you found this helpful.
Yes, I did.
And, off camera, we can talk a little bit more about how to contact them and what you need to do
to get the ball rolling.
To get the ball rolling, and we'll guide you through this.
Yes, great.
Okay.
Thank you again so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.